So what you have is the low false chord, no, the high false chord, yo, and the fry, yo, yo. What a week to be a Deathcore fan. Shadow of Intent and Disembodied Tyrant both releasing new singles back to back. The symphonic deathcore gods sure are smiling down upon us. As for this video, we're gonna check out the new single by Shadow of Intent, Flying the Black Flag. Arr. Because it's a pirate song, you know, cut that R out. You know Ben Duerr as one of the lowest, one of the most technical voices in deathcore. So if you're a screamer, be prepared to be humbled, and also be prepared to witness some of the sickest vocals you've ever heard in your life. With that being said, let's check this out. Okay. So, right off the bat, Ben hits us with his signature low style. I could talk about this specific low technique for an hour at minimum, but for the purpose of this video, let's break it down into 3 steps. First of all, what you can hear is he is super low, right? And the reason that his scream sounds as low is because his basic vocal approach is super low. And how do you get your voice so low? Well, first with voice building, but assuming that you have the voice building down, you want to lower your soft palate so that you sound like this. When you do this, you remove all the resonances from the upper nasal canal. That enables you to get way lower in your voice resonance. So instead of sounding like ah, you now sound like ah. Okay, and now with this sort of voice, you want to go really low, like hey. Oh. And now that you have the basic voice down, let's make a false chord scream out of it. But this is not all that Ben does here. Ben gets a lot of aggression from his upper false chord resonances that are more in this area up here, the yeah. And now you can combine those both like this. And now it's already very full sounding. But it's still not all, because he still manages to mix some fry in there. Sure, because why wouldn't you? It's something like, oh, that's still stacked on top of there. So what you have is the low false chord, yo, the high false chord, yo, and the fry, yo. And then it's like confusion. And the thing about this technique really is that the mastery of those different techniques is so difficult by itself that if you do one thing wrong, you can't get them all 3 together, because it's really a balancing thing. If I compress too much in my lowest false chords, I can't get the resonance up into the fries or up into the upper false chords. If I compress too much in the upper false chords, my voice seat won't be able to get those low false chords. So I really need to balance it all out so that I get the super low lows in there, the articulation and aggression from the mid section of my voice, as well as the upper sizzle from the fries. And if you did not get anything I just said, I won't blame you, because this is insanely nerdy shit. But if you ever want a really in-depth step-by-step guide to these sorts of vocals, feel free to write it down in the comment section, and if it gets enough likes, maybe I will do a step-by-step guide in the future. As for now, let's continue with the song. Let's talk about that transition a little bit. First, you have the lauter. It's a black metal voice that you get from upper fourth chord engagement, the same fourth chords that we talked about before, but singular, and the voice onset below is way higher now. So we go for something like and then engage our fourth chords like and then we bury it in heaps of reverb and it will sound very similar. It's a very black metal thing to do, very cool. And then he goes from that low false chord onset to the highs into a fry high, actually, as he envelopes with his mouth. Back with his backstop! Yeah, something like that. It's really cool because it means that he can compress his false chords, and as soon as he does the switch into the fry highs, he lets go of that false chord compression fully and completely transitions into the fry compression. This requires a lot of body control, so yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane, dude. Okay, let's talk about the enunciation here. It's a classic over-enunciation with stereotypical vowels. So for the highs, we have a reoccurring A theme like ja, Backwater's backstab, mehr than the insurrectional acts. Backwater's backstab, mehr than. It has a tendency to go towards the R. For the lows, you have more of an O shape, where you go like misinformation, slaughter of defectors, misinformation, slaughter of defectors. Let's continue. Oh, okay, that's really cool. Whenever you have a lot of E sounds in deathcore, you always have to ask yourself one question. Do I go for E's and squeal it? Or do I stray away from the E and make it sound more dark? And with this, quickly slipping between, he did go for the squeals indeed. And he didn't go for classic deathcore pick squeals there. It wasn't like a bree bree. It was more something like quickly slipping in between. You don't have the tongue standing up for this one. It's not a tunnel throat. It's more like the back of the tongue goes slightly up and you harness the overtones from the proximity of the surface of the tongue to the soft palate. So it goes like it makes for a more demonic and serious sound opposed to classic deathcore pick squeals. The next super intricate technique, double time fry highs. If you ever asked yourself why you couldn't get these, I'm gonna give you 2 tips. First, you have to do these vocals in single pushes from the belly, so you don't do 1 push per syllable. If you wanna go for it like you will cap in speed fairly quickly. So you go and then the lips do the work. The next thing about this technique is to get your enunciation this clear as this rapid of a tempo. You want to practice it very slowly so that you gain muscle memory that you then employ for doing it quickly. Whenever one of my students wants to learn super fast-paced vocals, one of the best exercises I always like to employ is the cork mouth. For this exercise, you grab a piece of cork from a wine bottle or the next similar thing that you can find and you put it between your teeth, like this. Okay? And with this between your teeth, you now try to enunciate the words that you're trying to do in double time, like this. The path towards ascendancy lies at the extent of the reach. The path towards ascendancy lies at the extent of the reach. The path towards ascendancy lies at the extent of the reach. The path towards ascendancy lies at the extent of the reach. The path towards ascendancy lies at the extent of the reach. The path towards ascendancy lies at the extent of the reach. And this is how you get faster. Let's continue. So right after the hook and after another very fast-paced high part, he hits us with a staccato transition. With vocals like these, you really have to have your breathing in check, because there are small pauses. After explosive, dismantled, and devastated. Those pauses aren't really long enough to do a full air refill, but it still requires your abs to go on full stop for the breathing, and to be like at 100% of power, then disrupt super quickly, and then at 100% again. It's very tough to do. It requires a lot of body control, which he has. Let's continue. Okay. In the beginning of this breakdown, Ben hits us with a more guttural sounding technique. With these sorts of breakdown parts, we usually leave all enunciation ability behind and just go for the most demonic and most aggressive sound that we can do. And it's sounding super brutal. As for distortion and voice, this is very similar to the technique that he did in the beginning, actually. You can imagine it like this. In the beginning, his distortion was balanced between 3 different types, and now he's gravitating more towards the lower of those 3. Essentially, with the closure of the mouth also comes enhanced fry engagement with the tongue technique that he does. It's a more thick amalgamation of the sounds that you heard in the beginning, and because his mouth is closed way more now, it sounds even lower. One thing that you need to keep in mind here is that his voice is always super low, so to achieve this sound, it's more of a change in distortion and mouth technique, not necessarily in voice technique itself. Oh, there he comes. This transition here is really emblematic of what I said in the beginning. His bass vocal tone is what creates this huge sound for his vocals. In this little transition here, he talked with his bass voice and a little bit of false chords. Sometimes students come to me and they're like, dude, I can only scream with 100% of my distortion or with 0%. This dude, he's like talking with 10% of his screaming distortion. He doesn't even need to go full out with his breathing for that. He's just this trained. With or against, it matters not. Oh, okay, dude, what a single. What did we learn today? Ben Duerr is a fucking beast. Also, you wanna practice your false chords right to be flexible, to go from and in everywhere between. If you do that, you'll be able to add awesome textures to your songs as well, and I'll be looking forward to that. If you have a band that you're doing vocals for, leave a comment with your band's name down in the comment section below. And as always, follow me on my socials for more vocal education content. If you want to support me and get videos more frequently, leave a like and subscribe. With that being said, have a good one.